What's up everyone, I'm Calamontos, and in today's video we have part 2 of the Jungle Cup Battle of Spice, featuring 12 more insanely spicy teams, and obviously if you haven't seen part 1 yet, definitely go ahead and check that out, as it's an absolute banger of a video, but of course we post lots of bangers on this channel, so feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, so that you don't miss out on any of the spicy content. But with that being said, let's just get straight into the question of the day. What would be the main thing you change about the Go Battle League in order to encourage more people to run spicier or more unique teams? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so heading into the first battle, we Mothim into Jumpluff, so this is a pretty decent matchup for us, although if the opponent is running Acrobatics, I wouldn't be surprised if it completely one-shots a Mothim. This Mothim I've used recently is actually really classy. We're now going to overfarm here, farming to near the back-to-back aerial aces, going for the first one, and honestly these air slashes have really chunked already. We swap and the opponent swaps at the exact same time, and unfortunately for them, we come in with a very good response to Galarian Weezing in the form of Shadow Camerupt, although we don't tank that Brutal Swing particularly well. We're going for the Earth Power, the opponent no shields, we take out the Weezing, they come in with Altaria and we just barely miss out on making it to an overheat, which yes is resisted, but it still would have done a lot of damage. But it doesn't matter, we can now come in with our level 50 Jigglypuff, tank the Sky Attack, and we will be able to make it to a Disarming Voice. Now I don't expect this to do much damage, we're only 800 CP, but the opponent uses shield and then they go for a nice combo play, but it doesn't matter, we're just going to no shield here, come back in with the Mothim, and honestly I think the right play here is just to shield once, go for a full air slash farm down, and we will come out with a ton of energy to take out the Altaria. So gonna go for the first aerial ace here. Aerial ace is gonna do some decent damage. It's not the hardest hitting move, but you can see Mothim is attack weighted. We go for one extra air slash, going for aerial ace number 2, taking out the Altaria, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we're going to see Gyarados in the lead, so if they're running Waterfall, which they are, we have to swap out of there immediately, as that is an awful matchup. We swap into our Ninjask, which honestly isn't a great response either, but the opponent comes in with a Qwilfish, Hisuian Qwilfish to be exact. We're going to go for an aerial ace here. We have farmed up quite a lot of energy, and we're able to grab a shield from the opponent, and then throw on the CMP tie, which is perfect because we were very low. The opponent could have very easily shielded once, and then gone for a full Poison Jab farm down, but instead they throw their energy, they go for the Aqua Tail, and that's fine with us. Sorry, they are running Poison Sting, so maybe they couldn't have got that farm down, but either way, we're going to come in with the Alolan Dugtrio, shield once, as of course Aqua Tail is super effective, but the opponent swaps into Gyarados, and we are just barely able to make it to a Drill Peck, throwing on the CMP tie, winning CMP, and Drill Peck nearly takes out the Gyarados. So at this point, we're going to no-shield the Aqua Tail, coming back in with the Dugtrio. We take huge damage from 2 Waterfalls. We've got such little HP remaining. How can we possibly win this game here? The opponent comes back in with the Qwilfish, so we do overfarm just slightly, going for the Mud Bomb, and the opponent's got a second Dark and Poison-type Pokemon in the back. We go straight for Mud Bomb, number 2, near one-shotting the Shadow Skuntank. We're able to Sand Attack, farm them down, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Scyther into Dragalge, so this isn't a great matchup for us, but it's also not great for the entire team, so we're just going to stay in here, go for Aerial Ace. You can see it doesn't do that much damage. The opponent no-shields the first one, and they haven't even thrown a charge move yet, and they've already got us into pretty much the same health range as we've got them after landing an Aerial Ace, so not ideal. We're going to go for a second Aerial Ace there. Look like we tried to throw on CMP. The opponent doesn't throw straight away, but they do end up expending some of their energy, going for an Aqua Tail, which was unnecessary. They could have just gone for the full farm down, and honestly that's probably our way back into this matchup. So we're going to come in with the Incineroar, but they did overfarm enough to make it to another Aqua Tail before we do make it to a Blaze Kick, but the opponent swaps into a Talonflame, so we are very slow to swap out there. We come in with our Pawmot, and the opponent is going to go for a Fly, and that takes us out. It is neutral damage after all. We're now going to overfarm here, farming to 100 energy, going for a bait with a Blaze Kick. Blaze Kick grabs that final shield, and now we can full send a Darkest Lariat from this range. It will be taking out the Talonflame. They're going to come back in with Dragalge, and we are just barely able to make it to a Blaze Kick before they can Dragon Tail farm us down or make it to the Aqua Tail. We take out Dragalge, and Ferrothorn is basically the only thing we could beat in the back, but we've seen it now. We're going for that Blaze Kick, one-shot in the Ferrothorn, and we're able to take that game. So going into next battle, we see Rufflet into Lanturn, so obviously not a great lead whatsoever. Going to be safe swapping into a level 50 Baneri, and honestly I was thinking about powering up a Baneri for my Easter theme team I did a while ago, but in the end I just decided to go with a Lopunny instead. But you can see Baneri has access to Fire Punch, which is very nice coverage here. We are going to be able to outpace him. We're going to throw it on the CMP tie, so very good timing here. Going for a second Fire Punch. Fire Punch will be grabbing a shield from the opponent. And at this point, it looks like we're happy to take shield advantage. They full send the Energy Ball, taking out Baneri, but we can come in with our Rufflet. We're going to no-shield the next charge move, obviously, and then we can go for a huge Wing Attack farm down. So Aerial Ace, not going to do particularly much damage there. We do get the farm down. We come out with a Brave Bird loaded, so we might just chip that Lantern. Going back in, full sending the Brave Bird straight away before swapping into our Pumpkaboo. Brave Bird does just under half the health of that Lantern, and then they've got Serperior in the back. So we've got a shield advantage here. This isn't that bad of a matchup, as we can hit for neutral damage with both the Astonishes and the Foul Play. So we are going to no shield the first charge move. They go for Aerial Ace. Honestly, they're probably going to make it to 3 Aerial Aces, so it doesn't really matter which one we no shield. We're going to shield up the second Aerial Ace here, go for that Foul Play straight away, and if we can grab that last shield from the opponent, honestly, we might just let the next move go through here. So let's see, the opponent is going to go and fire off the next charge move. We are going to no shield it. It is the Aerial Ace. It takes us out, but now we come back in with the Rufflet. They just barely outpace us to a Surf, but that's absolutely fine. We've still got our final shield remaining. Going to use it on the Surf and then fire off a Brave Bird immediately. Brave Bird will be taking out the Lantern, and they're in range where we can just Wing Attack, farm down the Serperior, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we see an amazing lead for this level 50 Trapinch into a Shadow Alolan Golem. Honestly, if we're running Sand Attack, we might have just been able to fully farm them down by now, but we're running Mud Shot, so doing a lot less fast move damage here. We're going to no shield. They go for Wild Charge. That still does a ton of damage, considering that is a double resisted charge move there. But they swap into Ampharos, so double weak to the Trapinch so far, possibly even triple weak to it, as they didn't swap out straight away. But let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to go for a Thunder Punch there. Obviously, from that range, it would be taking us out, but we've got all shields down on the opponent's end. We go for the Crunch, taking out the Ampharos, and let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come back in with their Shadow Alolan Golem, but this isn't too good for us because we've got 2 Pokemon very weak to the electric typing in the back and the rock typing as well. We are going to come in with the Archon, which I'm not so sure about since they are, of course, double resisting the Wing Attack damage, but then they come in with a Rhyhorn, which is such a spicy pick from the opponent. We're going to go for the Crunch and then swap into our Drifloon here, and honestly, they're probably going to run like Horn Attack, Bulldoze. We should be able to very easily tank anything they throw. It is the Bulldoze. We can now just safely farm to the back-to-back Icy Winds. The first one should be enough damage to take out the Rhyhorn, and we can just go for a second Icy Wind here up against the Shadow Alolan Golem, taking out the Golem, and we're able to take that game. So going into the next battle, we see Vikavolt into Pelipper, so an amazing lead matchup for us, and the opponent also choosing not to swap out there, so possibly double weak to the Vikavolt, so we're definitely going to shield this, preserve our health as much as we can, and they swap into a Vigoroth. So we're going to go straight for an X-Scissor here, and if the opponent is going to shield this up, then we should make it to a second X-Scissor, but no, instead we're going to go for a Discharge, which doesn't make any sense, as if you didn't know, Discharge and X-Scissor both deal the exact same amount of damage in neutral situations, so you always want to go straight X-Scissor. The opponent goes for the rock side. In that scenario, it doesn't really make a difference, as we were only making it to 2 charge moves regardless. But anyways, we're now going to come in with the Shadow Pinsir, and honestly, with the Fury Cutter damage, we're going to put them into X-Scissor range, so we don't have to full send that close combat. X-Scissor will be taking out the Vigoroth, and then they come in with a Venusaur, so going straight for the X-Scissor number 2. X-Scissor is going to do big damage in this matchup, and we're now going to swap, make the catch onto our Durant, going to double resist anything they can throw. The go for Frenzy Plant doesn't deal much damage, and then they come back in with the Pelipper. Now, we should just barely live a Weather Ball from this range, and we do hang on, and we make it to an X-Scissor, which is amazing for us. Of course, this is resisted damage, but it will be taking out the Pelipper. They get the resisted Vine with Farm Down, but we put them into Fury Cutter Farm Down range, but just for the sake of it, we're going to go for the Close Combat BM, taking out the Venusaur from 1 HP, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, we're going to see an amazing lead once again, so picking up great leads in this Battle of Spies so far. The opponent's going to say swap into Quagsire, and honestly, we don't have the best response ever, but we are going to come in with the Shadow Giraffe Rig, no shielding the first charge move, and then full sending the Trailblaze. The opponent doesn't know about the Trailblaze damage there. It one-shots the Quagsire very easily, and then they come in with a Skarmory. Now, of course, Psychic Fangs is resisted, but we have ramped up our attack. That does some decent damage there, I'm not going to lie. We can now come in with the Shadow Magnezone, and we we can probably let this go through. The opponent just goes for a Sky Attack, which is fine with us. Gonna go for the Farm Down. Well, we've tried to go for the Farm Down, but they've got Unova and Stunfisk in the back, and this actually looks quite scary for us, as this is a Core Breaker to our lead and our back Pokemon, which is going to be the Shadow Toxicroak. But the good thing about the Shadow Toxicroak is that these counters are already really chunking. We've got them into the yellow health range already, so that's perfect. We can just shield this up, and then we should be throwing on the CMP tie with the next bomb, the next Mud Bomb, but no, actually just going to throw it straight away. Mud Bomb will be grabbing that final shield from the opponent. They're going to overfarm just slightly, but that should be a huge mistake from the opponent as Mud Bomb takes us out, but we put them into range where honestly 2 Mirror Shots should be enough to take them out there. They're actually going to swap back into the Skarmory, and that's absolutely fine. And here we're going to go for the BM, triple resisted, Wild Charge, and Wild Charge will be taking out Unova and Stunfisk, and we're able to take that game. Into next battle, triple shadow action, and we've got Shadow Golurk into Lickitung, so certainly not ideal. Gonna say swap into a Shadow Flaffy, and you can see that is the, what's it called? Charge Beam as a fast move, but once again running Trailblaze for coverage. Doesn't quite take out the Quagsire, which is unfortunate, but we do put them into Farm Down range, and also once again boosting up our attack. They're going to come in with a Mandibuzz, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense there. Of course, I'm thinking, well, they're saving Lickitung for our Shadow Golurk, but also Mandibuzz is a very hard answer to Shadow Golurk as well, so yeah, don't really know why they came in with the Mandibuzz, but we're able to make it to another discharge up against the Mandibuzz, and that grabs both shields from that Mandibuzz. We can now come in with our Shadow Ampharos. The opponent's going to swap into Lickitung, and we make the perfect catch there. This should just be a double resisted Body Slam. We tank it on the chin, and if the opponent doesn't throw more energy into us, we can very easily make it to a Dynamic Punch. This hits for super effective damage. It will be taking out the bulky Lickitung. They come back in with the Mandibuzz, and they're not going to overfarm at all or go for a farm down. They fire off the Aerial Ace, but that's absolutely fine. We can even no shield this, doesn't really matter. Dark Pulse does decent damage, but we are running Focus Blast and we're full sending it here. Focus Blast takes out the Mandibuzz, and we're able to take that game. Into next, go see Toucannon into Greninja, so this is alright for us. We are running Bullet Seed here. The opponent's actually going to swap out into a Noctowl though. We're going to go for some chip damage with a Rock Blast here. Rock Blast actually grabs a shield, and probably best case scenario for us, as we've got a great response to a Noctowl in the form of a Alolan Golem, but the opponent's actually going to shield up, we're going to shield up a Sky Attack bait, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. We're now going to go for a Rock Blast. Rock Blast will be taking out the Noctowl, and then they come in with a Salamence, so we're making it to another Rock Blast. Rock Blast grabs the final shield from the opponent, and we should make it to yet another Rock Blast, but we're actually going to overfarm here. I really like this play. This basically allows the opponent only to get one extra Water Shuriken's worth of energy when they farm us down. We're now going to come in with our Stoutland here. Honestly, we can tank anything they throw, so I would no shield the first move there, just in case they bait with a Night Slash and get the boost, but we should be fine right now, as we're going to tank the Hydro Cannon coming through, and we should be able to make it to a Wild Charge, and of course, this hits for super effective damage. Greninja is very squishy, so we take out the Greninja, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we've got a triple bug team here, and we're leading with a shiny Anorith, which I have never seen in battle, and there's a good reason for that. It is absolutely awful. It's running Scratch as the fast move, as well as Cross Poison and Aqua Jet, which are, well, I mean, Cross Poison is not too bad, but Aqua Jet is an awful move, and especially since it's even non-stab there, you can see we barely make it to a charge move up against the Vigoroth. We're now going to come in with a Pavilion here. We're going to shield up the Rock Side, which would hit for double super effective damage, so that's definitely a good shield. We now go for the full Gust farm down. They're going to come back in with the Mandibuzz, so we're going for the back-to-back Aerial Aces here. The first one is going to be no shield, unfortunately, but we do make it to a second Aerial Ace. So Aerial Ace number 2 is also no shielded by the Mandibuzz, and at this point we can't really afford to shield in this matchup, so gonna no shield. They go for Dark Pulse for some reason. Not sure if that means they're not running Aerial Ace, but we make an amazing catch there, catching the next move onto our Anorith, and it was Aerial Ace, so kind of a strange play from the opponent there. We're now going to come in with the Dustox. Honestly, I'm not certain we would have been able to farm down that Mandibuzz before they make it to the next charge move, but they were very low, so they swap immediately into their Clodsire, and this isn't really the best matchup, but we are running Confusion at least, which is hitting for super effective damage. We go for Silver Wind, and we get the boost, which is really good for us. Honestly, we needed that. We're now going for another Silver Wind here. Silver Wind is going to grab the final shield, and then we make the combo play, swapping into our Pavilion here. Aerial Ace is not going to hit that hard, but it was a CMP tie as well. That couldn't have gone better for us. We now tank the Stone Edge. We're going to come back in with the Dustox. At this point, we can definitely shield this up here. The opponent might try and make make a catch onto their Mandibuzz. Let's see. No, they don't make the catch. They're actually just going to concede the match there, and we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we're going to see a Pikachu Libre into Crustle, so I believe this is a level 50 Pikachu Libre, and as well a level 50 Execute, but I think the Golett is just slightly under-leveled, but either way, we go for a Flying Press there, dealing some decent damage considering we're not even 1100 CP. We're now going to swap into Golett, tanking the Charge Move there. Everything is resisted from that Crustle, and now they come in with an Obstagoon, so going straight for the Brick Break. Brick Break is going to hit for double super effective damage, and it's also going to debuff the opponent's defense as well, so very nice there. We can now just shield this up and go for a full Mud Slap farm down. No, the opponent does make it to another Charge Move, but we're happy to double shield our Golett here, go for the Mud Slap farm down. We are down 2 shields, but they come back in with their Crustle, so go straight for another Brick Break here. Brick Break is going to be shielded, and now we can make it to a Shadow Punch as well, and Shadow Punch will be taking out the Crustle, and they've got a Tentacruel in the back, so things are looking pretty decent for us. We are double resisting the Poison Jab damage though, so we're able to make it to a Shadow Punch at the last second, getting them into the yellow health range. And now, unless they're running Blizzard or maybe like Sludge Wave, then we're able to tank an Acid Spray very comfortably, and the opponent is trying to concede the match there, but we actually Confusion farm them down before they're able to do so. And into the final battle, unfortunately not a great lead for us, not really sure why we're staying in, but we stay in to make that catch there. I suppose if we did swap out a bit sooner, then they could go for a Rock Slide, which hits for double super effective damage. But speaking of double super effective damage, we are running Power Gem as coverage here, and Power Gem will be one-shotting the Talonflame, flipping switch advantage. And let's see what the opponent wants to do. They're going to come in with a Lantern, so honestly this isn't great for us either, but we will make it to an X-Scissor. And of course X-Scissor going to hit for neutral damage. The opponent actually shields that up, and it's a CMP tie, which is perfect for us. We're now going to no-shield, of course. We're going to come back in with the Obstagoon. And we can now overfarm in this matchup, going for a Night Slash just before we make it to back-to-back Night Slashes. The first one is no shielded. We overfarm just to make sure the opponent doesn't make a catch there. And now we can go for a Cross Chop. Cross Chop grabs that final shield from the opponent, and we come in with a Shiny Ribombee. Or, as some of you might know, I titled a video for like maybe 20 minutes as Shiny Rib, because I just forgot to give it a proper title, and a lot of people just commented Shiny Rib. So if you remember that, then let me know in the comment section down below. But we're able to take out the Rigoroth there. We can just safely shield this up, and we should be able to make it to either Charge Move. We settle for the Bug Buzz. This should be enough damage from this range to take out the Lantern, and we're able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to take your support even further, you can now become a channel member with perks including early access to new videos, shoutouts at the end of each video, custom loyalty badges, and custom emojis to use in the comments. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that has already become a channel member. Your support is greatly appreciated, and with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.